Hello, YouTube friends. This is Cheyenne 5, and it is late at night. My family has gone to their room. I hope y'all can hear me good. I do have a loud roaring fan blowing, only so that my family won't be able to hear me as I'm recording to y'all. It makes me feel safer, makes me feel more like I can talk my normal loud voice to y'all so that y'all can hear me good here, but yet they can't hear me because of that loud roaring fan. So, here we go. And I know y'all are probably wondering why y'all are looking at the word love spelled out on Scrabble tile letter-like things on a thing. This is a picture album, an old picture album that I had when I was a teenager, full of some of my old pictures. The only reason I'm showing it, I'm using it as a darker background to lay these on so y'all will see these better, because I doubt very seriously just laying them on my light pink mat here that y'all would be able to see them that good. So that is why I am using this. Now, what this video is, it's a tag video, okay? Somebody that I am subscribed to and watch her videos. Her name is April. She done this video, a tag video. But I'm gonna do it different. She didn't do anything like this. She didn't show words. I just wanted to be a little bit different, I guess unique, you know. She just done it the normal, regular way, which was she recorded showing herself. And it's a question tag where she answers questions. And she was just reading the questions off and answering them. Well, I'm going to be doing that, but I thought I would show the words that resemble these questions. Okay? Alright, and this resembles the first question. So, and before I get started on this tag, I am not going to tag anybody specifically, but you are more than welcome to, if you would like to do this tag, to go right ahead. And I know we do not have video responses anymore, but when you do it and put it up, then come under this one and leave me a comment, leaving me a link to your video so that I can see that you have done it. And it would be nice if some of y'all would do it. It would be fun and interesting, I think. So if you will, please join in. But I'm not going to name anybody specific and say, okay, you do it, you're tagged, you know, I'm not going to do that. Okay, the type of tag this is called my first time tag. Now, granted, the name of that, sort of a little scary, ain't it? But it's not what you think. It's decent, okay? So, but that type of name of a tag could be scary if you think about it. My first time tag, but it's decent, so it's okay. So, let's begin this my first time tag. Alright, the first question, number 1. Do you still talk to your first love? See the word love? Okay. Now, what is a first love? If you want to, I mean, there's 3 different sections, okay, of first love. There's the first love between the little bitty kids, where they just, you know, like each other and they call each other boyfriend and girlfriend. Then there's going to be the middle one, which would be the teenage years, and it's kind of a puppy love. It's a little bit more than this, but it's not really the real thing. And then there's the real thing, which is basically the one, you know, and that's it. You get married. So, which one is this talking about? My first love, when I was a little bitty girl, we went to church with this family. My mama was friends with his mama. We went to their house one day, And he kind of liked me as well as I kind of liked him. You know, we called ourselves, you know, not really called ourselves boyfriend and girlfriend, but we would tell other people, you know, I would say, that's my boyfriend. I don't know if he did the same with me or not, but I knew he liked me because he was a little bit shy. And so one day we went over there to visit, and when we walked in the door, he ran and hid behind the lounge chair and was peeking out from behind it at me because he was shy and bashful and embarrassed and liked me. And I thought, oh, that's so cute. But the question was, do you still talk to your first love? So, to be honest with you, back when we lived in Mississippi, which is where he lives, which was 4 years ago now, because we've been living here in Tennessee for 4 years, or a little over 4 years. July was 4 years. So back when we lived there, yes, I still sing This First Love, and I still talk to this first love. Matter of fact, this first love and my husband were good friends and worked together. And every time this first love would see me, he would still tell me he loved me. But he told my husband he loved him. He was a crazy type person. He was the type of person that can make you laugh at every little thing that he says or does. And he told everybody, even the men friends, you know, not that he was that way, because he wasn't, but that was just his silly little crazy funny way. And he just told everybody, I love you, every time he's seen them. So when he would see me, yes, he would tell me he loved me. And I even told him I loved him back. So that would be that first love. Okay. The middle first love of the teenage years, where it was the puppy love, it was a little more than this, because you was actually, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend, you actually dated or whatever, and you actually thought you were in love, and you thought that was going to be it, and all this kind of stuff. That first love I have talked to since I've been married. I have seen and talked to since I've been married. And my husband knows him and has seen him, but my husband does not like him. And it's not been as much as seeing this first love. And it's not been, like, it's never been planned, and it's never been purposefully. It's just been like a running into thing, you know. But we would be nice and polite and speak. So that's how that was. Now, this first love I am married to, and that is my husband, Al. And do I still speak to him? Yes, I still speak to my first love. Okay, so that's the first question, and I'm so sorry I took so long with my first question. Alright, so let me get ready for my second question. Okay, sorry, I had to read my question, see what it was, and then I'm having to get my letters over here. So this has to do with the second question. Baby, the second question is, what was your first job? My first job was a babysitting job. Okay, I have, really and truly, that's the only kind of job. I have done other kinds, but this is the one I always come back to. It's the one I'm the best at. I love it. I love getting down to the children's levels, playing games with them, doing arts and crafts with them, and I love babies. And holding them and rocking them and feeding them and talking to them and singing to them and tickling them, you know, and making them giggle and laugh and all this kind of stuff. So my first job was a babysitting job. I was 13 years old, but the little girl that I was keeping was 5 years old. And she lived right in front of my granny. My granny, my daddy's mama, lived in a trailer in town. And this little girl and her mom and dad lived in the trailer right in front of my granny. and they needed a babysitter, so they hired me. And so where we lived where we lived out on Louis Swamp, which is out in the boondocks. So during the week, I would stay with my granny and get up early at 6 o'clock every morning and go to the trailer in front of my granny and babysit this little girl all day long. And so I would stay during the week with my granny, and then on the weekends, my mama would come get me and I would go back home on the weekends. So that was my first job. Okay, that being done, the next one is car. What was your first car? Now, what I consider what my first car was, there are some people out there that would probably say, no, that was not your first car. They would probably say that was your mom and dad's car, and they just, let you call it yours or whatever. And if you didn't drive it much, it wasn't really your car and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, I consider it my first car. It was my mom's car. It was a little bitty, I don't even remember what kind it was. I just remember that it was a little bitty car, because it was a two-door car, okay? And it was a standard, and it was green. It was a dark, ugly green. And I call it that it was dull, because it was not shiny at all. It did not have a glossy, shiny look to it. It was a really old car. And it was standard, but it's the car that I learned how to drive in, believe it or not. You could not pay me $1 million to drive a standard car today, because I would not be able to. Because I wouldn't be able to keep the thing cranked. It'd die on me all the time, so I wouldn't earn the $1 million. So I wouldn't even worry about trying, because I would know how it would end up. I despise standard cars, and I won't ever drive a standard car. Because again, it's the hardest thing in the world. Shifting that thing, getting used to all them shifts and gears and when you're supposed to do it, and when you slow down and you got to go back down, and then you do this, and the three different pedals thing called a clutch, and you do that, and the thing dies on you. And then it dies in the wrong gear, and you have to hurry up and get it back in the right gear to get it cranked, and blah, blah, blah. And when you have a daddy that fusses at you for all of this kind of stuff, yeah, that makes it even worse. But believe it or not, I learned how to drive in this stinking car. And so my mama got another car. And so, I was 13 years old, and I was just learning how to drive. I had learned how to drive in that car, and I thought, I loved it, and I wanted it since I knew how to drive, even though it was hard to keep it cranked and all this kind of stuff. I just, so I asked her, could I have that car? And so she said, yeah. So, basically, it was really still hers and her name and all that, but I called it mine. I could claim it, And like I said, I don't remember what kind it was. Don't even know if it was a Ford or whatever. But that was my first car. But it wasn't long I started driving an automatic, and I decided I didn't like that standard anymore. So anyway, that's my first car story. Okay, number 4. Who was the first person? Oh, I gotta get my word ready first. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, I gotta borrow some letters over here. Okay, this is the word, and it says sell. Okay, the question is number 4. Who was the first person to text you today? The answer to that is nobody. Because I am not texting anyone right now. I did not get a phone card this month. I do the Straight Talk phone from Walmart where you get the cards. And so we needed to save our money for bills and stuff this month, so I just kind of am letting this month go on that. But I will get it back next month, October. So the answer to that is no one. So nobody texts me. Okay, number 5. Let me get my word. Some of these words make sense. Some of them are the exact thing the question is asking about. And some of them are odd, like I guess you would say this one is. M-I-N-D, mind. Number 5. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? See, mind. Your mind thinks, right? So, who was the first person you thought of this morning? Alright, now let me think back. I didn't think about this before I done it. Let me think back this morning. I slept late, so when I finally got up, probably the first person I thought about was my husband. Because I was wondering if he went somewhere to do something that he had talked about doing, because he wasn't at home, and I was wondering where he was at. And I asked my daughter, but no, he had went and done something else instead of the thing that he had talked about going to do. So it was my husband that I first thought about, most likely. Okay. Alright, let me get this next one ready. Letters, come back. I need my letters. Where they at? Where they at? I hope I spelled that right. T-E-A-C-H-E-R, teacher. Is that what that spells? Let me turn around and make sure. See if I'm making a fool of myself. T-E-A-C-H-E-R, teacher. I guess that's how you spell teacher. Anyway, so, number 6. Who was your first grade teacher? My first grade teacher was Miss Mobley. She was a black lady. And she was a nice lady, and I really loved the way she looked. I said that she had a baby face. It's because of the way the cheeks were rounded out and puffed out. You know, they just kind of they looked like a baby face. So Miss Mobley was my first grade teacher. But now the best teacher that I ever really liked, the best out of all that I had in school, was Miss Hammock. Now, I had to go to special education class, and she was my special ed teacher. Her name was Miss Hammock. And she was the sweetest. She would play with us. She would talk to us. She talked to me, and she would, you know, talk to me and ask me about what I did at home with my friends, you know, what we played and all this kind of stuff and everything. And I really liked her. I wish I could find her again and, you know, see her and see if she remembers me. Probably not. I seem to remember everybody else, but they don't remember me. Anyway, so the next question is, find my letters here. Okay. Ride. So, number 7. Where did you go on your first ride? Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane? Nowhere. 'Cause, honey, I ain't never been on an airplane. And, honey, you ain't never gonna get me on an airplane either. Thank you very much. I am too big of a chicken scaredy cat baby and proud of it. Seen too many movies of planes crashing. No way, Jose. Okay. Alright, the next one is, so let me find my words, letters for this one. I hope that end is right. I guess it's right both ways, huh? You could do it that way, or you could also do this, I suppose. Friend or friend? So the next question, number 8. Who was your first best friend, and do you still talk? My first best friend was, her name was Sarah Bates. She married a Beatty, but then they divorced, and so now she's married to a Waller, so she's Sarah Waller. She was my first and only best friend, and yes, we do still talk. She lives in Mississippi, but we do stay in contact and talk on the phone every once in a while. So that is my best friend, and it's been, last time I seen her was at my dad's wake when he passed away, and that's been a little while back. I don't remember just how long now. Over a year, I know, maybe 2 years. I don't know how long it's been. Boy, that's bad. But anyway, that was the last time I seen her. Would like to see her again. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Okay, now we're gonna do. Okay, so this is the way I need to do that, ain't it? Okay. Sleep. S-L-E-E-P. Sleep. So number 9 is, where was your first sleepover? Now, people, I guess I'm an oddball, and it just puzzles me, and I don't understand sometimes why people call things the way they do, because I have always called it something different. This question is saying sleepover. I've never called it a sleepover. I have called it spending the night with. That's what it's called. That's what you're supposed to call it. So anyway, the first time, what's the question? Where was your first where was your first sleepover? So, when I was a little bitty girl, I don't remember exactly how old, somewhere between the age of 8 and 10, I'm going to say. I lived on the coast, and I had a friend named Shelly Chris. She lived right across the road from me, and I went and spent the night with her one night over there. That was the first person I ever spent the night with. Other than family, you know, my older sister was married. I may have spent the night with her before that. You know, or somebody like my grandmother or something like that, my granny, you know, I don't just remember. But I don't really count those because that's family. So, okay, number 10. Okay, this one is... Alright, this question has to do with talk. Number 10. Who was the first person you talked to today? The first person I talked to today was my oldest daughter, Elizabeth, because it was just me and her here at the house when I woke up, and I talked to her and asked her where her daddy went. So she was the first person I talked to. And that was my oldest daughter, by the way, Elizabeth. I don't know if I said that or not, anyway. Okay, number 11. Let me get this one ready. That's really an M, but I don't have a W, so I'm using it as a W. I'm going to turn it upside down. Got to get my other letters here. Okay, this one has to do with wedding. So number 11. Whose wedding was you in for the first time? None. Because I've never been in a wedding. I am 45, almost 45 years old, and I have never been in a wedding that I can recall or remember. So there you have it. Okay. Number 12. Okay, where's my letters that I wanted for this one? Y'all hang tight, I gotta find my letters. Okay, I'm missing a letter. No, I'm not. It's in here somewhere. I just gotta find it because I didn't use it. I remember now. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Here you are. 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 Okay. 6. Number 12. What was the first thing you did this morning? Well, Pete, the very first thing I did when I woke up this morning is every morning when I wake up, I do this first off. I have to go to the bathroom and use the bathroom. Sorry. But that's just it. But that's not what this is about. I'm not going to worry about that one because that's like what they call TMI, I think, for too much information or whatever. Anyway, so the next thing that I did this morning when I first woke up was I fixed me something to eat, and I ate it. So that's what fix is about. And it was a bowl of cereal, and that's what I fix me every morning when I first wake up to eat. It's a bowl of cereal. Alright, I got to turn the page for my next question. Now these other questions, it's going to be hard for me to read, because look, my Tookie Bear did his art. So, bear with me. Okay, 13. Okay, this next one, let me find my letters I need. Where is my other letters? Come on, come on, come on. I know I've got more. Where did you go? Oh, Lord, I can't find the letter I need. Okay, now. I thought I had all the letters I needed. Y'all bear with me just a minute here. I'm a-looking. I'm missing a letter. So, another letter goes right here. So, this is the word, okay? Y'all got it? D-A-L-L-A-S, Dallas. Okay. The question is number 13. What was the first concert you ever went to? Dallas Holmes. He sung Christian songs. I was a teenager, and I went to our church's Christian school. No, it wasn't our church's. It was another church's. It was before our church got our Christian school. And they found out about this concert they were having at the college in town, and that this guy, he sung Christian gospel songs, and they wanted to take all of the school kids to it, and they did. And I went, and my best friend Sarah was there, and we sat, we wasn't even in any seats, honey, because the house was already full when we got there. There wasn't no seats. We had to walk down, and the bar that was across the front of the stage where he was at, we was actually sitting on the edge of that. That bar was in front of us, and we was sitting on it. It was the concrete floor, and it dipped down in there, so our legs was hanging down swinging. And we sat there, and boy, we had a time. We was up close. We could see him good. We was singing. We was screaming and yelling and talking about how, he was so fine. You know how teenagers are at concerts and all this kind of stuff. We just had us a ball. So anyways, okay, Alright, the next one is, let me find my letters. And boy, they can get away from me so fast. This one has what to do with bones. Okay, 14. What was your first broken bone? Well, to be honest, I'm not really sure, because to be honest with you, I'm not really sure if I ever really broke a bone. Which would be a good thing, and I hope I don't jinx that or anything. But now, when I was a little bitty girl, I was in the car with my mama, my grandmother, my aunt, and me. And we had a wreck. And back in them days, you know, kids didn't have car seats and all this kind of stuff, and I wasn't even in the seat belt because Mama and them just didn't raise us and teach us to wear the seat belt all the time like they do nowadays. It's not a law thing, you know. So anyways, it wasn't back then. It is now, but it wasn't back then. So I went forward and I hit my nose on the back of I was in the back seat with my aunt. My mama and my grandmother was up front. And the seat was back high because it was the front seat was a full seat and the seat was up high. And I'd probably been standing up. And so I think my nose hit the back of the seat, and I know it bled really bad and it was really sore, but it may have broke, but I just don't remember and recall. Now my sister may know and can answer that in the comments below this when she watches this to let us know for sure if it really broke or not. Okay, then another time, and I'm going to say that this was not a break, it was more or less a sprain. I was a teenager. I was staying with my sister, my oldest sister. My mama went out of town with my dad, and my sister had an upstairs house, and we was planning on going out to eat that day and have a good time, me and her boys. And at coming down the stairs, I tripped and fell down. I was already close to the bottom, so I tripped and fell down, and I thought I had broke my foot, but it was probably just a sprain because I actually got up and walked on it, and we went on to town. But by the time we was through doing what we did that day, we went to eat at this pizza place where they had games and where when you sit at the table and eat, kind of like Chuck E. Cheese, but I don't think it was called Chuck E. Cheese. I think they called it something else back then. But they had the big animals that played the instruments and talked to you while you sitting at the table eating and all this kind of stuff. But I was so in pain I couldn't even enjoy it, and I was sitting there and started crying. And Charlotte finally said, "Go to the car, Sherry, we're fixing to go," because I was in such pain. She knew I needed to get home. So, but I can remember walking on it and walking to the car, and it was just hurting real bad. But they say sometimes a sprain is worse than a break. And I can even remember I was sitting in the car while I was waiting for her and the boys to come to the car, and I was just crying, and one of the ladies that had come out to her car seen me, and she knocked on the window and asked me if I was okay. And so I can't remember what I told her, but anyway, I remember that anyway. Okay, so that's that one. Okay. Okay, here's the one I'm going to do for that. Let me find my letters. Excuse me. Holes. Because that's what they are. They're holes. Okay. Your first piercing. See? They're holes that you put in your body that you shouldn't put in your body. I have none. Have none. Have none. So I don't have a first piercing. Okay. Alright. So the next one is, okay, what was I going to use for that? Oh, I know what I was going to use for that. Let me find my letters here. Give me a minute. This is a long word. It's like two words in one that makes one word. Gotta find my letters. Bear with me here. There you are. Let me see. How do I do that? I guess like that. Okay. The word I'm using is overseas. The question is, it's number 16. First, let me see how it's, first foreign country you went to. That's why I said overseas, because foreign country, overseas. First foreign country you ever went to? None. I have never, ever been out of the United States, and probably won't ever go out of the United States, because you cannot get out of the United States in a car on 4 rubber wheels on the road. You have to either do it by a plane in the air, which is a no, 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 no with me, or you have to do it in a ship in water, which is a no, 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 no with me. Sorry, Charlie. Okay. Number 17. Let me find my letter. That K looks weak to me, especially for what it's saying. So, gotta find my other letters. Bear with me. Hang tight. Hang tight, hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. La 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 la. Ah, it's up. I can't find my other. Okay, here it is. K-I-N-G, K-O-N-G, King Kong. I hope that's spelled right. Yeah. King Kong. The question is, number 17, first movie you remember seeing. This is my first movie I remember seeing, King Kong, where the big old gorilla climbed up was it the Empire State Building? Something other, and an airplane flew around him and is trying to catch him, and he had a girl that he fell in love with, and all this kind of stuff. I was a little old bitty girl, and that was scary to me, but I remember watching it. Okay, number 18. Okay, the word I'm going to use for this is right here. Gotta find my letter. C-I-M-E-O-U-T, time out. The question is number 18. When was your first detention? In school, grade school. I was a little bitty girl. We lived on the coast. I remember I was called out to go to the principal's office, and I had to go sit in a desk that was in the principal's office while he sat at his desk and worked. I was in trouble for something, but I don't remember what it was for. But I remember doing that. But I remember him talking to me. And I just remember thinking, well, this ain't too bad. I'm not having to sit in my class and do my schoolwork. So anyway, that was that. Okay. I was probably, let me think, where was that at? Was that in, might not have been on the coast. Yeah, it was on the coast. Yeah. So I was probably 8, 9, maybe even 10, I don't know, somewhere around in there. Okay. Number 19. Okay, I guess I'm gonna do, gotta find my letters again. Here we go. I hope, well, here I've done it again. I'm missing a letter. Let me check and make sure I don't have it. Nope. Supposed to be 2 O's. R-O-O-M for room. Question is, number 19, who was your first roommate? Well, my very first roommate, oh, I know, that ain't what I was gonna do. I'm dumb. I can't remember nothing. No wonder I didn't have 2 O's. I was gonna do this, because this was my first roommate. Lord have mercy. But yeah, my very first roommate, I'm sure, as it is with all babies, when they're first born and come home from the hospital, they sleep in the room with their mom and dad. So my first roommate was my mom and dad. But I only have mom here. But anyway, my next roommate would be my sister, Charlotte. And then once she married, it became my other sister, Becca. The Becca JB here on YouTube. And then, when she left me, it was my Mama Walker, my mama's mama, because she lived with us. I was her roommate. But then I got to wanting to sleep by myself, and sometimes I would sneak and get into, which I had my own room with my own bed in it, but Mom would always want me to sleep with her because she was kind of scared to sleep by herself too. But I got to wanting to sleep in my bed in my room, and I would sneak and go to my room and get in my bed, and I'd hear her. She'd come walking down the hall, and she'd be saying, "Well, I guess I've lost my bed partner." And she'd be walking down to my bedroom, and she'd come to my door and stand there, and I'd just grin real big. I'd be laying up in my bed. But anyway, so that was my first roommate. Okay. Let's see, what was the first? Okay. Let me find my letters for this one. We're almost done here. I know this is ending up being a very long video, and I am so sorry for that, but I cannot help it, especially when I have to look for these letters. Is that right? No. That's right. Wanted to find another letter, and now I can't. I guess I've done used them all. So lesson, L-E-S-S-O-N, lesson. What was the first lesson you took? Now what that's talking about, I'm guessing, is like all the type lessons that kids will take, you know, growing up in school and all. Like after school they'll go to maybe a piano lesson or a guitar lesson or some kind of dance lesson or something like that. I never had any lessons like that, so I never had a first one because I never went to anything. I didn't even get to go to Girl Scouts, and I remember seeing the Girl Scouts at my school meet. And I remember wishing and longing and thinking I would love to join Girl Scouts, but my mama never put me in anything like that. She didn't think I wanted to because I was always such a shy child. But I really, you know, did want to. But anyway. Okay, so that's that one. Now we have one more question, and we are through with this video, this tag video. So this one is, what was I gonna put on that one? Who was that? I don't know. I don't remember doing a word, making up a word for that one. So let me see if I can look through my letters here real quick and come up with one. Give me a minute, people. We'll do this. There you go. Videos. The last question. Question number 21. Who was the first person on YouTube you ever watched? Okay. When I first started actually watching... See, when I first started out, I would get on YouTube to search anything that I wanted to find out about something or learn how to do something. And I would search that and watch the videos, but at that point in time, I was not subscribed to anyone. I was not subscribing to those videos. I wasn't even saving them at first in the beginning in any kind of way. But in doing that, I started finding all these vlogs. It was the vlogs I came across first. So this one girl named Caters, that's what it was going to do. I was going to actually put her name up here, and it was going to be the longest one. Anyway, Caters17, it's all spelled out like that. Caters17 is her YouTube name. She's a vlogger. She's a young girl, but I really love watching her vlogs. She's really nice and sweet, and she's really fun. And she used to get a lot of mail vlogs, not Happy Mail, what we crafters call Happy Mail. It was just that because she was a famous vlogger on YouTube, she had a post office box that she put in her description on her channel. And everybody could just, she would tell them, if you want to send them something, just send it to this post office box here. And so that's what they would do. And she would get big old packages of stuff, and you know, they sent her candy, and they sent her different kind of foods to try from different other places that they lived, and they knew what all types of stuff she liked, the colors that she liked, and she would send stuff in all of that. And I'm ending up spelling it out anyway, and that was the first one I found, and I really enjoyed watching her. So after I watched her for a while, then I came across the Shaytards, and that's a family. I don't know if y'all know them or not. It's a mom and a daddy and 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, and she's expecting another little baby boy now. And they're a fun family to watch, and he plays with his kids. He throws them and spins them around up in the air and on the beds, and it's just fun to watch them. Caters17, I'm trying to see here if I've got it right. Find all my letters here. Where'd my D go? I don't think I have it. Yeah, I do. There we go. That's the longest one I've used yet. Look at that, almost as long as my picture album. Caters, Caters17 is her YouTube name. She's a vlogger. She was my first one. After I found her, found the Shaytards. After I found the Shaytards, I decided I want to watch these all the time, so I found out I could subscribe to their thing and get them all the time, but to do so I had to make my own channel, so that's when I made my own channel, and I subscribed to them, and I watched them for the longest, and I started finding other vloggers, and then that's when I started coming across the crafters, and subscribing and watching them for the longest until, and longing, at that point, I was still wishing and longing that I could do what the crafters was doing and make crafts and make videos and put them on YouTube. I had a channel. So finally, I decided to do it. Realized I could use my webcam. I thought, at first I didn't think about that, and I thought I was going to need a camera. But then I realized back then it was my little mini laptop I had, and so I said, hey, I can use my webcam. And so I started making videos, and voila, here I am. So, that was the last question of this, my first time tag. And I know it was long because of the way I did it, making the words and not just reading it, answering the questions real quick like, and making it long stories on some of the questions, and all of that kind of stuff, and I am so sorry, but that's just me. But thank y'all for watching. Leave your comments below, and I hope you enjoyed it. And see my pretty picture album, old picture album. Anyway, If y'all want to, like I said, do this tag. They don't have video responses anymore, but make the video, put it on your channel, then come to this one, under this one in the description or in the comments below. Let me know you did it and leave the link to yours so I can watch it too. Thank you so much. Toodaloo until next time.